Welcome back, everybody. Great to have you here today. Let's dive into a controversial topic. We are not ones to shy away, but I will tell you this. The Dental Association, as well as the American Medical Association, absolutely would have you believe the converse of what we're going to speak about here today, which is all of fluoride's hidden side effects. Because they have been using for decades now fluoride in over 70% of all of the water-based systems across the United States. And we know, and I'm going to share with you the studies right now, unfortunately, of a lot of side effects that most people don't know about. Fluoride is not needed in order to have healthy, clean, vibrant, strong teeth. All right, the first side effect is this: potential thyroid disruption. This is legitimate, especially since we've known since the 1970s that if you give larger amounts of fluoride to a patient, it lowers their thyroid function. It's one way to wipe out thyroid function is to increase fluoride, causing hypothyroidism. This is very well known, and then that can also then lead to all the symptoms of being hypothyroid, which is low energy, low mood, brain fog, fatigue, no ambition, no drive, no libido. It is all the lows from low thyroid. Weight gain. We're actually talking about that on tomorrow's show, right? One of these obesogens is actually fluoride. So definitely make sure you tune in to tomorrow's show as well. So potential thyroid disruption, please keep that in mind. And it's actually, again, the American Medical Association may be like, oh, that's not true. First of all, it is true. It's proven. It's already been used in science experiments. And if you just go back to your biochemistry, your chemistry in general, you will see that in the same haloid group as iodine, you have fluoride, you have mercury, you have chlorine. All of these things can displace thyroid hormone, at least the iodine needed to make thyroid hormone. So very straightforward, fluoride can disrupt your thyroid. And if you have low thyroid, just be careful. I can't give you any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis, but it's at least something to think about, right? Be careful. Number 2 is this: neurotoxicity and lowered IQ. Straightforward. Harvard University published this, right? They're pretty conventional, right? They showed that when you increase fluoride exposure in children, it lowers their IQ. Legitimately lowers their IQ. So now we have pediatricians telling moms and dads to give their kids fluoride water for when their teeth start to come in. So from less than a year old, you've got kids drinking fluoride, which is when it's most toxic, because think about, you've got a 10 pound, 15 pound, 30 pound child, they were small. And so you think the liver, the kidneys are going to be able to detoxify that as fast as it would for a 160, 200 pound adult? Of course not. So now we're wondering why we are lowering the IQ of our society. And then it includes adults as well, but much more detrimental in children. Plus, fluoride may disrupt neurodevelopment in fetuses in young children if the mom is getting it during pregnancy. All right, third one is this: skeletal fluorosis and weakening of the bones. So I've heard of obviously osteoporosis and other bone-based diseases as we get older. Well, the more fluoride we take in, the more joint pain, stiffness, weakened bones we get. So higher fracture rate, the more fluoride that an individual is exposed to, making them more brittle bones over time. Not great. We'll talk about this more tomorrow with different items as well, but fluoride disrupts the gut microbiome, specifically the bacteria, and it can create gut dysbiosis. That means an imbalance between good bacteria and bad bacteria that affects everything from our immune system, immune dysregulation, systemic inflammation, to potentially autoimmune and digestive issues as well. Number 5 is an increased risk of dental fluorosis. Now, this is a little bit different, but this causes white spots in the teeth, discoloration, damages the enamel. This is a little bit more localized and more to talk about with the dentist, but this happens all the time with fluoride, all the time, the white spots on the teeth. So just want to put that out there. I wouldn't say that it's a major health risk, but of course, you start to weaken the enamel, well, it can easily lead then to more susceptibility to cavities. And then it leads to root canals and then all sorts of issues from there with cavitations, etc. All right, number 6, potential leading to pineal gland calcification. Now, I'll be honest with you. I used to think that pineal gland calcification was kind of a conspiracy theory type of thing. But then I looked more into the research. The pineal gland, for various reasons, begins to become more calcified. That means hardened over time as we age. Not just from fluoride, but from various things. And then what does that affect? Well, it affects our sleep, which then affects about 70% of all known diseases, right? So it's pretty important, especially cardiovascular disease. If you have disrupted sleep at night, you have a 49% greater risk for cardiovascular disease. It's a huge statistic. So this is a real problem, pineal gland-based calcification. It's not a conspiracy theory, and we absolutely should look into the tie with fluoride. Number 7, possibly carcinogenic. Whenever you hear carcinogen or carcinogenic, think cancer. Fluoride has been linked, at least in animal-based research, to bone cancer and potentially other forms of cancer by also disrupting the DNA over time. Number 8, liver and kidney stress. I talked about that a little bit earlier. Very stressful for young children when they have a small liver, right? Adults have a large liver under the right side of that rib cage, but children, much smaller. Now, it can happen to both children and adults. It's not the only way, but the oxidative stress. That means your body has to get rid of the fluoride because it's a known poison. So your liver is always going to usually get first run at it. Then your kidneys. Well, it creates oxidative stress as it's detoxing this poison. And as it does, that can create inflammation in the liver and kidneys. And since there's tiny tubules in each of those organs, over time, it could lead to potentially chronic kidney disease as well as inflammation of the liver. All right, 2 more to go. Number 9 is this, reproductive health. Well, we know that high fluoride exposure has been linked to hormonal imbalances and reduced fertility in multiple studies. So fluoride leads to infertility potentially. Again, this is what the studies are showing. And some studies actually suggest that fluoride may impact, as in lower testosterone and reproductive organ function, potentially even damaging the sperm as well. So when we look at overall fertility issues, it's not the only reason, but one of the reasons why fertility is falling is because of environmental toxicity, without a doubt. And fluoride is one of those toxins. The last one is this. It's what I'm calling unknown long-term health effects. There are studies considering fluoride in the GRAS category. That means generally recognized as safe. And they give you the upper limit. That is why on a tube of toothpaste, if swallowed, you die, or you could at least die. It says call poison control. It is a known poison. But they study it at a certain amount, right? That's considered generally safe. What has not been studied is 50, 60, 70 years of daily fluoride exposure through drinking water, toothpaste, dental treatments, etc. So all I'm saying is we need to be a little bit worried that as we spend more and more money here in the United States, we become sicker and sicker. We have more and more people medicated, taking on average like 3 or 4 medications as they become an adult, and people are not getting healthier, no matter what the government or anybody would like to tell you. At least not now. Maybe this will change into the future, and that would be amazing. But right now, we do not have a healthy country, and we need to move back to the foundations of health. I talk about these in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. That book is also free. You literally just pay for shipping. That's at StephenCabral.com. But really, all of today's show notes will be at StephenCabral.com/3343. If this was helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. And then for all of my fluoride-free toothpaste-based recommendations, head on over to StephenCabral.com/resources. There's over 100 healthy resources there, all great companies that I'd love to just be able to share and support. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing day. I'll talk with you tomorrow on the Cabral Concept. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.